our biggest challenge has always been to get in front of our participants. And one of the great things that we've learned from the pandemic was that we can get in front of our people virtually rather than one-on-ones. With me today is Lisa Marquez. She's with Empower. We've been with Empower for about 27 years. We love Empower. Yes. We work well together, and we've learned a long time ago that being a team works very well together. I wanted to also let you know that our participation rate in our 457 is about 86, well at this time is about 85%.
85 at the time.
And our 401k was about 82%. We do that without any auto enrollment. But we do have a match. We have a 4% match on each of our plans. So this is Lisa Marquez.
Hi, hello, my name is Lisa Marquez. By the way, 27-year relationship, that's better than most LA County relationships. My name is Lisa Marquez. I work for Empower Retirement. I am the manager of participant engagement for the local County of Los Angeles office. I've had 8 wonderful years with Empower, and most of that time has been in the wonderful relationship that we have with the County of Los Angeles. And I think what really does make a difference is that it really is a partnership. We work together for the betterment of our participants.
We're behind on our slides.
That's okay, we're ahead.
So our whole goal with trying to get in front of as many people as we can with such a large landscape is to create financial habits with our participants. Like going to the dentist a couple of times a year, going to get your annual physical, even doing your taxes. It's something you gotta do, right? So we're trying to make retirement, checking in on your retirement a habit they should be taking each and every year. Can we go to the next slide? Let's see. In 2019, the county just started running virtual webinars, not knowing that in 2020 we would have to do virtual webinars.
Yes.
Yeah. So for this campaign, we leverage webinars and virtual one-on-ones to get in front of as many of our participants as we could, who we couldn't in the past get in front of. We utilize National Retirement Security Month as an opportunity to shine a spotlight on retirement wellness, to instill healthy retirement habits for all of our employees, and to encourage participants to take action and be engaged with their retirement plan. And for those county employees who are not yet enrolled, we try to get them enrolled. And believe it or not, when you leave county service, you do not have to take your money out of the plan. As many times as much as we advertise this, I mean with banners, balloons, for some reason people still think that when they leave county service, they have to take their funds out of the plan, and that's something we don't want you to do. For our lucky retired participants, we do webinars, and do we still do one-on-ones with some of them, reminding them to stay in the plan and the benefits of staying in that plan. Next slide, please.
So I'm going to take you back in time to the fall of 2021. So remember, we had all binge watched every single show that was on Netflix. We all discovered that the freeways were really great when there's no other cars on them.
The 405
especially, yes. And grocery delivery was outstanding, with the exception that you couldn't pick out your own fruits and vegetables. From our standpoint, we were launching our second 100% virtual campaign. So for that, we wanted to make sure that our campaign resonated with our participants. So we created a campaign that highlighted board games and table games that were familiar to participants. This theme resonated with individuals from age 18, 81 to 108. The pandemic evolved and participants went back to those traditional games and played alongside with any sort of the family, so whoever was in your bubble at that time. And together they were entertained. The concept was designed to encourage participants to understand that retirement was a game that they could absolutely win, with our help and with help that they will be able to do on their own. The concept was designed around improving retirement wellness, just like Janice's was, and also with the idea that they could win the game. Participants were encouraged to join a webinar challenge, and if they attended all 4 spotlighted webinars for that month, they got a certificate of achievement. The purpose of the campaign was not only to just educate participants, but instill habits that they would be able to start using those years and from years to come. So let's dive in a little bit into the communication outreach. So how do we communicate to our participants? Well, we did a couple of things. This was a multifaceted communication campaign, and it was an effective way to engage our participants in a 100% virtual environment. So we sent out 5 emails. We had a web banner, a pre and post login message. We had an article in our news and updates, and we had a webinar flyer. Collaboration was also key. So between outreach from Empower directly, our LA County DHR partners who are sitting in front of us here, as well as our local unions, SEIU, CCU, and ALEX, who are also here with us today, we were able to outreach not only to participants that were already enrolled, but participants that had yet enrolled with us. So it was another opportunity to get those that weren't yet enrolled that very campaign. Let's take a deeper dive into that email structure with Kim. So Kim, take us into those emails.
Okay, so going into National Retirement Security Month each and every year, we know that we're competing with open enrollment. So we knew that the emails that we were sending out, they needed to be competitive. We needed to grab their attention, so we made them interactive. We made them colorful. Our attempt was to make them stand out so people actually open them and click through. And I think we had an open rate of about 57%. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
We sent out 5 emails. One was the first one that went out letting them know, hey, this is coming. Still do your open enrollment, but hey, partake in National Retirement Security Month. Week 1 was a focus on investment education. A lot of the times our participants, they come in, they just pick whatever their neighbor's telling them to pick, and they don't really know what they're doing. So the point of that week was to get them to really look at their investments and to pledge or to take an action. Again, instilling retirement habits. We wanted them to pledge or make a promise to us, hey, you're gonna go in, you're gonna go onto the website, you're gonna look at your investments, and if you're confused or if you're in 18 different target dates, call one of our retirement people at Empower and get some education on that. Week 2 was about staying in the plan. Again, no matter what we tell them, no matter how often we advertise it, they still think that they have to leave the plan. And I don't know about your plans, and I don't know about what goes on in your offices, but we have brokers that like lurk around waiting for people to retire so they can swoop in and get them to leave the plan. Oftentimes they listen to these people, not knowing really what they're getting into, and then sure enough, about a couple months later, they're trying to bring their money back. Our plan is designed that if you leave the plan and you're no longer in service, you can't come back. And we get about 30 to 40 requests a month for people to try to come back, because you know what, it's not always what it seems. If it's saying so great, it's probably not true. So our call to action in week 2 was to make a pledge that, you know, when you do leave county service, at least, you know, call Empower, you know, and say, you know, I'm thinking about leaving, do you think this is the right thing to do? And they'll tell them, they'll reiterate the benefits of the plan. Week 3 was about beneficiary designation. Similar to Anaheim, and I'm sure similar to the rest of you, you have people that set it and forget it. They get employed, they fill out their paperwork, and that's my beneficiary. And we have the same issue. Even though we've been with Empower, which was Great West before, 27 years ago, if you became an employee, your documents are sitting on microfiche in an Iron Mountain facility somewhere in the United States. So, reiterating the importance of a beneficiary designation. And you'd be surprised how many people don't have one. Or, like, a lot of our people find out they do have their ex-wife or their ex-husband as their beneficiary, and that's not a good thing when that time comes. So, the call to action that time was to go online or call, if people who don't have access to online, to call in to the retirement center in Denver and say, hey, who is my beneficiary? And if you don't have one, get one. If you find out that they're the wrong person, change it.
Change it. That's a way for 27-year successful relationship is not have your ex-wife as a beneficiary.
I agree. Week 4 was all about comprehensive account reviews. So the pledge there was to get in front of an RPC at our Empower local office in Pasadena, California, and to talk about where you're at, right? We want people to be at an 80% retirement income. That's our goal for each of our participants when they retire. A lot of people don't know what that number means. They don't know that there's a healthcare cost associated with retiring, and we want them to know where they're at. If they log into the Empower website, they can see where they are with a lifetime income score. However, right now, we don't have our pension loading into the Empower system, so that's a big chunk. Our average pension is about 40%. So we need them to make that 40% somewhere else, and we want them to make that up in the deferred plans. So they go in front of them, they sit with them, they talk to them about what their pension will look like. They talk to them about what their deferred comp looks like. They talk to them about any other retirement accounts they might have somewhere else, Social Security, and they get them on the right track. So the call to action there was to please, 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 do yourself a favor, pat your future self on the back, get out there, get in front of an RPC, Retirement Plan Counselor, and have that comprehensive account review, and really dive deep into where you are now and where you need to be. So let's now look at the webinars. So we offered 30 educational webinars during the month of October. We had 4 targeted action items that we wanted to make our participants, or hope that our participants took action on. As a reminder, those were the investment education, staying in the plan, beneficiary election, and the comprehensive account review. During that month, we also offered open enrollment, enrollment campaigns for those participants, even the 14% who are not enrolled. So the hope there was to get them enrolled, get them signed up, get them deferring, and for our retired participants, the lucky ones, they, again, their education was about staying in the plan, the benefits of it, what not to do. And we also had in there, or part of our education is a broker compare sheet that we asked them, hey, print this out. It has about 10 to 15 questions on there that you should be asking the broker questions before you leave, and we had that in there.
Yes,
we did. Dry mouth now. What was I gonna say?
Now we're gonna.
So from enrollment to post-retirement, we had everybody covered. As a reminder, participants who completed the education, the webinars for all 4 categories would earn a certificate of achievement. And I agree with Anaheim, our participants are very, very competitive as well. And you'd be surprised, you walk through the hall sometime, you see a little certificate tacked up on the wall, and you're like, good job. So how did our participants react to this campaign?
So creating participant retirement habits was one of our focuses. We have a ratio of almost 17,000 participants to 1 retirement plan counselor. 17,000 to 1. So it's critical that we not only provide them education, but that we really teach them self-help care so that they can take action on their own when we're not in front of them, because that is a huge ratio. So holding themselves accountable and showing participants how simple it is to make changes would not only drive them to make changes during that campaign, but for years to come. So I equated to showing my mom how to do online shopping. So yes, the first day was a little bit painful. We had to set up an account, we had to create a profile, we had to add her credit card. But once we set that all up, she was on a roll. And to my dad's very much dissatisfaction, she's now a Platinum Plus member with Macy's. Same thing with our participants. Once we showed them how easy it was to take these actions on their own, we're hopefully creating habits for years and years to come. So here are some notable results for our attendees. So as you can see, all attendees pledged at 96% or higher to do various items. And again, the pledges weren't just like a New Year's resolution that you're gonna hold for yourself. The idea is to get them to take that first step, that first action to log into the website and make a change, update their beneficiaries. Look at how easy it is to make a deferral increase so that we're creating habits for life. So our participants that were a part of our investment overview week, not only were challenged to review their investments, but they were challenged to set up an appointment with a comprehensive account review with a retirement plan counselor to review those investments if they weren't quite comfortable with their choices. Because again, most of them, as Janice has mentioned, as the panel had mentioned, I'm sure as you've all experienced, some of our new hires selected an investment campaign because their sheriff captain told them to, or because their peer selected a target date fund, so they just selected the same thing because that's what the answer was next door. and without necessarily understanding what they were in. So that was our challenge for first week, is getting them to look at their investments, and then if they weren't in the proper investment allocation, or if they didn't understand their investments, to meet with us as soon as possible. During beneficiary week, we just asked them to review your beneficiaries, make sure that they're up to date and it's the right person. I laugh, and I'll tell a story about that a little bit later, because we did get a lot of feedback about that section. During comprehensive account review week, we educated them on the benefits of meeting with a retirement plan counselor and challenged them to make an appointment within the next 3 months. And then finally, for our retirees and near retirees, never want to leave our retirees behind, we asked them to pledge to meet with a retirement plan counselor before even considering leaving the plan. A lot of them are being approached by outside advisors and insurance companies with promises of greatness, and it's not necessarily great. And not that broker dealers are evil or anything like that in any way, shape, or form, but they sometimes don't understand the benefits that the in-house plans have for our participants.
The low fees.
The low fees, the convenience, there's a lot of options. The no fee on a 457 withdrawal if you're under age 59 and a half. So a lot of it is just educating our participants on what we have to offer to help them in the long run. While not all participants who took pledges actually took action, many of them did. And without prompting, we received a lot of feedback during the webinars themselves and through emails after the fact. And the reason we laugh about the wife is one of the ones that notably came in on a chat, and it went to the entire webinar attendance, was my wife, my ex-wife was my beneficiary. Thank you so much, you saved me. That was the literal quote. And so while he was on the webinar itself, he had gone in, logged in, and realized that it was the wrong spouse. And that actually went out to the entire group of attendees at that webinar, so we all laugh at that one. We never know how easy it was to make deferral increases. So Kim mentioned our website. On our website, we have a slider for deferral increases, and not only does it tell you how that will affect your paycheck, it also gives you a result on how much it's going to improve your overall retirement. So we got a lot of feedback around, oh my God, not only was it easy to do, I was gonna do 1%, but I ended up doing 2% because it got me closer to my goal. So our website's designed for immediate gratification, long-term, if you will.
And Lisa, not only that, but the sliders on the bottom also show how much it's gonna affect their paycheck. So going from 1% to 2%, 3% to 4% isn't that much. And we are always surprised, because we do have a match. We're always surprised about how many people are putting in less than 4%. Put in the full 4%, you're gonna get 4% in return.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Same as investments. They started off with 1% with the idea that they were gonna increase next month, and then you forget to make those changes for yourself. Unexpectedly, we were getting proactive engagement from participants because of these pledges, showing that although it was a pledge, they did actually take action, and hopefully action for years and years to come. Now some next outcomes. So how did we do? How many people did we meet with? Did we make a difference? Well, let's find out together. All right, so we had over 900 participants schedule a one-on-one meeting with us through this campaign. We had over 600 participants enroll in the campaign or increase their deferral contribution. And that actually took us from an 85% enrollment rate to an 86% enrollment rate, and that is without auto enrollment. So all the enrollments that are with our plan have to be proactively outreached to the participant, or the participant outreaching to us. The website was accessed by over 31,000 distinct users that month. That means 1/4 of our entire participant pool actually went into the website and accessed the website to do one of hopefully many things. So that was an outstanding number, and it's about 12% higher than we had seen in previous months. We engaged with over 3,300 participants during the month and maintained a net promoter score of 90. So for those of you who aren't aware of what a net promoter score is, it is a metric widely used to measure how likely a participant is to recommend you to a friend or family member. 50 is considered solid. I think 60 is where world-class service is maintained. We were at a 90. So not only did we meet with more people than we ever had before, whether in person or virtually. We did it in a way that maintained that Net Promoter Score of 90, which was outstanding for not only us, but showed that we were able to do it in a way that was careful and thoughtful and positive for our participants. So now I'm going to turn it over to Kim. She's going to walk us through our key takeaways.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so we all know we were during the pandemic, and being able to get in front of them virtually was probably the best thing that ever came out of that pandemic. It was also a time where people were very uncertain. We were still not back in our offices, so being able to see a friendly face on the other side, I think, was very comforting to our participants, and knowing that we weren't going anywhere. We're still there. We're still here to serve you. Again, from our perspective, because we have such a large landscape, we are really trying to instill those habits for our participants. We need their help, right? We can't get in front of, like Lisa said, we have 8 RPCs. The idea of them meeting with 17,000 participants each throughout the year is not reasonable, right? So we need these virtual one-on-ones. We need to be able to get out to them. This was a great thing for us, for the county anyway. We were able to get in front of so many more people. We were able to get in front of any participant anywhere in the county, so it was great. The other thing is, so just like everybody else in this room, we at the county, we want to make sure we push so much for our participants to save. We don't want to take out a lot of money from them for fees. So we try to do as much as we can. We run lean. We didn't offer any type of tchotchkes, gift cards, because we were virtual. We couldn't do it. But we did find out that we could do this without offering any tchotchkes or gift cards or anything like that. We actually use, I think, less than 0.03% of our administrative budget on this campaign. So the good thing is you can get out there, you can absolutely drive an effective campaign without spending a lot of money doing that. Because we want to, our Plan Administrative Committee really enforces keeping our fees low. Let's keep as much money in the participant's account as we can. We don't want to take out fees if we don't have to. So the ultimate goal and the ultimate significance of this campaign is that we learned we can get in front of so many people. We don't have to spend a lot of money to do it. The participant pledges that we created, we asked them to pledge to take an action, was because we're instilling habits that we hope they'll remember. Hey, open enrollment's coming in October. This is a great time for us to also log into the website, look at my investments. Can I afford? If you're getting a COLA, why can't you increase it a little bit? You're doing 4%, do 5, do 10. We don't have open enrollment. We do have auto escalation. So we do, tell them, please sign up for auto escalation. You have so much on your mind. You're sitting on the 405 freeway. Let it do it for you. So that's actually it. That's our whole presentation. So, I want to thank NAGDCA. Thank you. All of us, we want to thank NAGDCA for having us here. And if you guys have any questions, are there any?
We do. We have quite a few questions. So I think that we've all learned that we have very competitive participants and employees. Hands down. Now it's just how do you motivate them to get engaged with these great campaigns? Okay, I'll read the questions. So, what process do employees in Anaheim have to use to defer their PTO or their 457 account? Can they also defer overtime hours?
Okay, so in order, the deferral of the vacation paid leave are the provisions that's in the MOU of each bargaining group. An example is one bargaining group can say you have to maintain 40 hours of vacation and can only do 80 hours per quarter. So you can do this in cash or deferral, and that's agreed upon under MOU. Payroll will just, we have a payroll form that an employee completes every quarter if they want to do that, and especially works for safety. A lot of them don't take their vacation hours, and once they reach their max, they're gonna lose it. So that's like an option for them if they don't want cash, because cash is always taxable at 33% because vacation and paid leave are supplemental income. So they prefer to put it into a deferred comp account, and it's under MOU, and a payroll form is always available for them to complete. We don't allow overtime for deferrals, but they can always increase their biweekly contributions if they have a lot of overtime for that pay period.
We do actually include overtime in our contributions, not to match, but contributions. Yeah.
Okay, the next one is, what if your wellness platform doesn't have a leaderboard? Any advice on how to track this easily?
So our wellness platform always gets information from us in order to grant points to our participants. So we get these data from our wellness provider for those people who attend the workshops, for those people who increase their contributions online. So we provide this data, we get this data from Mission Square, and then we forward it